I am 99% sure that Dragon Ball Fighters has its own circuit going on right now. I don't know if it's currently live, as in players are actively going out to compete right now, because I'm pretty sure I think it might start next year, but I'm pretty sure they did announce another Dragon Ball Fighters tournament circuit. And it's like, you guys never market Dragon Ball Fighters ever. Like if the circle, and the reason why I said I don't know if the circuit is currently running is because they don't talk about Dragon Ball Fighters. They're not saying, "Oh, in a couple months, the next Dragon Ball Fighters tournament will be live, so keep training and that way you can go to Evo and play." Like there's nothing for Dragon Ball Fighters. And that's the most competitively viable Dragon Ball game ever created. And they still don't market that game. And then Sparking Zero comes out, which is a game that's not tournament ready, not tournament focused, and this shit happens. It's like you guys have a competitive game that you can use to sell, copies and stuff like that. And it's like Dragon Ball Fighters is right there, and they're doing nothing with it. All right, so the next these three videos are about Sparking Zero. Two of them come from the same creator talking about the I can't remember what tournament it was, but basically Bandai is running a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero tournament circuit like across the world at like different regions and stuff. And the latest one was done a couple days ago, and apparently the grand finals was basically people just cheesing with the androids and just super dashing all over the arena and not actually fighting. And so the runners of the tournament basically either told one of them or both of them to like swap characters or do something. And so that guy lost, and after that tournament they got both players got disqualified from the entire tournament because of the tactic of the androids and stuff like that. So that's what I understand about the situation. I don't know if Mike Hollow will go in depth with that, but he's going to be talking about that in these last two videos. Mike Hollow is a pretty good creator. I've been watching his videos for a while now, for a couple months. I don't know if he started doing Tekken 8 videos, but that's how I found him. He was doing Tekken 8 videos. And then over time, he started talking about other fighting games. And now he's talking about Sparking Zero. So these what the first two videos are going to be about. And then this one is from Tyrant, a really well-known commentator in the FGC, mainly known for his commentary for Dragon Ball Fighters. And I believe he was actually one of the commentators for the Dragon Ball. Yeah, so I think this is it. I think the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero tournament from France, it looks like. And he was one of the commentators of that tournament. And he's going to be talking about things he would fix to the game. And yeah. So, this is the first video. Sparking Zero was just embarrassed in front of everyone by Mike Hollow. I'll put the video in the chat after I'm done watching it, so you guys can go subscribe to him and give this video a like. So, with that being said, let's push play.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. Now, Sparking Zero's reputation, at least online, is in the doghouse right now. A couple of days ago, the dramatic showdown for France took place where two grand finalists, Shiryu, and I believe his name is Hillister, we're going to call him Hilly for the sake of the video, decided to showcase to the world just how unserious this game truly is. And as someone that has previously defended this game and still finds a lot of enjoyment in playing it, I got sent message after message asking for my opinion of what had transpired.
So I want to say this right now, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is not a competitive game. I feel like Bandai, or maybe even the developers, Spike Chunsoft. I'm pretty sure they have nothing to do with this, but Bandai basically trying to make Sparking Zero a tournament game was honestly the biggest mistake they could ever do to a game like this, because by its very nature it's unbalanced, and the developers even said that, yeah, we're not going for balance with this game. We're creating characters that are broken and fun, and a lot of the characters are, as strong as they should be when it comes to comparisons to the show. Now, whether or not you want to take them at face value, because a lot of stuff in this game is unintentionally strong, like the androids, Yajirobe, Raccoon, those characters are very strong in this game, and I don't think it was intentional that they're very strong in this game. But you know, I feel like their main goal was to make all the powerful characters powerful, all the weaker characters powerful, but very weaker than the top tiers. Right? I feel like that was their plan. And of course, some things will go under the radar, like Dr. Wheelo being a top tier character. I'm pretty sure that wasn't intentional. Like I said, the androids being a top tier, Raccoon being really strong. Like, I'm pretty sure all those characters are like not intentional. So and it's like, it's not like it's new to the Tenkaichi series. Like, Yajirobe was always good in the Tenkaichi games. Back in Tenkaichi 3, in the tournament scene that they did have, it's very small. I'm pretty sure like the best character in the game was Perfect Cell, Android 17, and um melee Trunks with the armor. Like, those was like within like the top 5 of the game. So obviously, and from what I remember, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, from a high level perspective, didn't even make the top 10. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes under the rug when it comes to like competitive games like this, which is why, well, not like this, I should say. Um, and so, yeah, you get situations where like the devs are like, yeah, we're gonna make all the fusion characters and like the Dragon Ball Super antagonists very strong, and then a character like Raccoon has an unblockable AOE ultimate, and people are like, yeah, I'm gonna use that, and he becomes a top tier. It's like, maybe it wasn't intentional that Raccoon and the androids and Dr. Wheelo would be top tiers, but that's just how things go with a game like this.
Did I still like the game? Do I still play it? Do I condemn the players for doing what they did? And if Sparking Zero has a bright future? So, today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on everything that has transpired and what I think needs to happen next. Now, to start with, and I know this is going to sound harsh and somewhat disrespectful, but well done to the players for demonstrating to the world on Bandai Namco's livestream how desperately this game needs to be overhauled. People paid a lot of money for this game and they don't feel like they're getting their money's worth, and one thing I've learned about Bandai Namco is that once they get your money, they don't seem to care too much about what you think following that. Well, they
True. Look at what happened to fucking. Look at what's going on with Xenoverse, dude. Like, there's so many quality of life changes that Xenoverse should have gotten years ago, and like, still to this day, it hasn't happened. Like, oh my god. Just overall netcode being improved, fucking the lobbies breaking, modding, cheaters, fucking like Super Saiyan hairstyles, the Saiyan tails, new transformation for other races, better parallel quests, because the parallel quest system is fucking garbage. Like, the only thing that Xenoverse 2 has improved on is its visuals when it comes to like cutscenes, and that's about it. And the same thing goes for fighters. Like, from it's alleged that after season 2, Bandai basically took over the reins for Dragon Ball FighterZ development, and Arc System Works was basically only involved with creating the characters, not balancing the game and everything else after that. So if that's true, that basically explains a lot when it comes to like DLC character quality and the lack of actual quality updates for the game. Because after season 3, fighters didn't get any quality of life updates, like no new tutorials, no online training mode. We had to beg and plead them for rollback netcode that didn't even work when it came out. The next gen version of Dragon Ball FighterZ didn't work. Like, Oh, Bandai.
They're gonna care now. I mean, if it was my game, I'd care because that shit was absolutely embarrassing.
It's only gonna get better. This is month 1 of the game. There's gonna be a lot of time. We have DLC. I expect that we're gonna have more DLC.
Yeah.
So like, give the game time, guys.
12 seconds later.
Gonna have superhero DLC, and who knows what they've got planned for the future. as
Yep,
well.
this is the clip.
So,
Just super dashing over and over
starting out
again.
here, we're flying around for a bit.
Oh my God, Shiryu versus Hillister at the grand finals to determine who is gonna be going to Los Angeles, California for the Dragon Ball Battle Hour, and we are flying synchronized flight and immediately changing it up.
They are.
This is what competitive Sparking Zero looks like, y'all.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What's the? Oh yeah, we're swapping out.
Yep, the other android. Yep, there it
We're
is.
doing it again.
We're putting the buffs on. All right, okay. All right, these guys. All right. There's a gentleman's agreement in effect. There has to be. These fellas. I refuse to believe otherwise.
People
Yeah,
think
what's going on?
people think Super Dash and Dragon Ball
These
Fighters
guys-
is
these
annoying.
guys are
Look at
like-
this shit. What do you do
One
against
in
that?
France already? Okay. bet.
Like, what do you
We got
do?
till 2 a.m.
I have some questions. I really like flying up and down as well.
The commentators literally don't know what to say. Like, they can't even commentate what's going on
It's been great.
because like
I really,
literally
you know,
nothing is
I'm
happening.
really happy. I'm really happy to. Hang
Yep,
out
they
with
had to
y'all a little
cut
bit later.
back
We
to
can
the
watch more Dragon
commentators,
Ball.
bro.
So it's been a treat. We are.
Oh
currently,
my god, dude.
Right after.
They should have never done a
Goku
tournament
wishes
circuit for this
back.
game, bro.
I can't remember his name right now. Wish is back.
I was watching it and getting secondhand embarrassment as someone that actually enjoys the game. I was showing it to my friends as we were sitting in our hotel rooms in Greece and we were laughing at the game as people that actually like the game. I mean, it was so embarrassing that the production team cut back to the commentators who really had no idea what to say, and I don't blame
Yep.
them. Tyrant could barely keep a straight face. It was shambolic on all accounts. And this is not the only tournament where this took place, but we're going to get to the other two a little bit later on in the video. I want to focus on these two for now. So why is this such a big deal since the game was always supposed to be unbalanced, chaotic fun? Well, because the developers and by extension the game itself are now at odds with each other. You marketed this game as being absolutely broken madness,
Yep.
so a lot of people took it that way.
Yep.
In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea, but hindsight is 2020, but that's what happened and largely people accepted it. The game came out and people were annoyed, and rightfully so, because aside from being broken, elements of the game were just completely unfun. There's nothing particularly fun about someone continuously going into sparking mode, and yes, before
Yep.
anyone's like there's counterplay, we know that. The point here is the design itself is so poor and easy to exploit, and these
Yes.
are some of the best players on the game. So before you say skill issue, I would think twice. These guys would probably destroy you in a second. It's not that they
Yep.
couldn't play, but that they
It's just
were
annoying.
protesting the state of the game, and also they are torn.
Like, there's a difference between something being fun to play and something being not fun to play, right? Something can be balanced and be not fun to play against, and something can be unbalanced but be fun to play against, right? Like, there's different levels to this, and Sparking Zero has a lot of stuff where there are counterplays, but it's annoying to fight against, and it has some mechanics that are unbalanced, and it's still not fun to play against them. So like perception, for example, there are ways that you can counterplay perception, but a lot of options either don't work or inconsistent, and therefore it's not fun to play against. Instant spark moves being on like 80% of the characters is not fun to deal with. Like, there's a lot of shit in this game that's just not fun to play against.
tournament players. So if this is the most effective way to victory, then why wouldn't they do it? It's not on them to play the game a certain way. It's on the developers to make the game in a way that doesn't allow for these sort of things to happen, and it is on tournament organizers to construct a tournament in a way where if they know there are broken things in the game, make sure the rule sets compensate for that. Neither of these things were done. The players are not at fault here. But I guess the real issue here is, why would you intentionally design the game to be a poor and broken, unbalanced mess and then announce a tournament series for it? Doesn't that kind of go against the very point of the game? It's like, pick a lane, guys. If you're gonna hold a tournament series,
and like, here's the thing, I am 99% sure that Dragon Ball FighterZ has its own circuit going on right now. I don't know if it's currently live, as in players are actively going out to compete right now, because I'm pretty sure I think it might start next year, but I'm pretty sure they did announce another Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament circuit. And it's like, you guys never market Dragon Ball FighterZ ever. Like if the circuit, and the reason why I said I don't know if the circuit is currently running is because they don't talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ. They're not saying, oh, in a couple months the next Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament will be live, so keep training, and that way you can go to Evo and play. Like, there's nothing for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that's the most competitively viable Dragon Ball game ever created, and they still don't market that game. And then Sparking Zero comes out, which is a game that's not tournament ready, not tournament focused, and this shit happens. It's like, you guys have a competitive game that you can use to sell, you know, copies and stuff like that. And it's like, Dragon Ball FighterZ is right there, and they're doing nothing with it.
For this game and do them yearly, then balance the game in a way that fits tournament standards and needs. And no, balancing does not mean removing fun, and to be honest with you, if you think this is fun, then never design video games, and I mean that. Balancing in this instant just means making things make sense and flow well in the game so we can have exciting battles. It does not mean put Hercule on the same level as Janemba or put Videl on the same level of Gogeta. It means fixing system mechanics so we can have an actual fun time playing the game and watching it. Things should be working in harmony. And right now, this game is not fun to watch, not by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't end there though, because the people...
I think the game is fun to watch if you're watching like content creators that can do very good commentary, but also like they're just playing for fun. Like they're doing like what the three idiots do, like Syriax, Dadadoya, and Rhymestyle. Whenever they do a video on Sparking Zero, it's entertaining to watch because they have synergy with each other. They're funny people. Usually they play like really fun like team comps. Like one person will play like the Pride Troopers, or somebody else will play like all Gokus. Like they do unique things with the game. And when it comes to like competitive Sparking Zero, yeah, this game needs a lot of ironing out.
People in charge of the tournament pulled the players aside and told them to play seriously or they're getting disqualified. I'm sorry, but what the hell is that about? The screenshots are here for context. In other games and in other tournament circuits, what you're watching Dr. Giro do just wouldn't be possible. If you try to find an exploit like this in Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, or even Mortal Kombat 1 in its current form, it wouldn't work and you'd lose.
Or even Dragon Ball FighterZ for that matter. Like, a lot of broken stuff in Dragon Ball FighterZ was changed over time. A lot of stuff in Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't necessarily broken at this point. It's just annoying or over-tuning, right? Nothing really broken.
Because the aggressor would figure out a very simple way to overcome it. But in Sparking Zero, this is such a powerful tool and effective way to play the game that you can actually get away with doing it, stalling for skill points and then winning the match off using a few key blasts. And this is one of many reasons why people don't take this game seriously as a competitive fighting game. Like I said, you can compete on it just like you can compete on Mario Kart, just as long as you are aware of what the game is. Yes, you might be in first place the entire race, but a blue shell can and will change all of that and tank your hard work by way of RNG. That is the way Mario Kart has always been. You can run tournaments for it as long as you accept the reality of what Mario Kart is, as long as you accept its nature. I've been to Mario Kart tournaments. They're a lot of fun. Everyone knows what's going on and nobody gets upset. The developers and tournament organizers need to follow suit. They need to copy what the Mario Kart guys are doing, or anybody else playing these games that have a lot of RNG in them or weird janky mechanics, and move accordingly. Or create a rule set that lends to the tournament scene. Or, and I know this one might be really out there, but actually balance your game with a clear vision in mind instead of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, seriously guys, pick a lane.
Yeah, Sparking Zero is in conflict with itself a lot in a lot of aspects. I think that's the
You were
biggest issue here.
embarrassed on your own live stream, and I'd wager it's not going to be the last time. As a matter of fact, as I said at the beginning of the video, it was not the first time it happened either. But we'll get to that in just a moment. People
Yeah.
had high expectations for this game.
I can't remember what the tournament was called. I think it was called TNS. I think it was the very first, probably not the very first online tournament, but like the first online tournament that had like a good amount of players, and that Android shit did show up in that tournament as well. So it's not the first time we've seen this tactic, and that was, what was it, day 3 of the game being out? Like it was either day 3 or week 1 of the game being out where that tournament took place. So like the Android meta, or just Dr. Gero and Android 19, like they've been running the show since the game came out. It was only later that like Dr. Wheelo and like some of the other characters started moving. But Yajirobe, the 2 androids, were like day 1 picks. They were like, oh, okay, pick them.
You kind of let them down. To make matters worse, to not be disqualified, Hiller changed their teams, and guess what? Their opponent just continued to do the same shit over and over again, and Hiller went on to lose.
All right, so there we go, guys. You saw the game. You saw it
Yeah, the
yourself.
commentators
Shiryu
literally
ends up
don't know
taking
what to
the
say.
dome, and with that, will be qualified to the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour using that UI Goku.
Yep. So we're gonna be seeing them in LA.
Dude, I
And to
can't.
everyone saying there's counterplay to this, please, like, just stop that nonsense. You can't just throw around there's counterplay to this after every sentence like you're the enlightened one. Besides, I tested the counterplay that is on offer. One of them being charging up a beam and then letting it curve, and it's useless, guys. And you know that once your movement gets good enough in this game, what Dr. Gero was doing was effective enough. He would have been able to move out of the way most of the time. The odds are entirely in your favor. Counterplay only really works effectively when there is even levels of counterplay, not when something is so overwhelmingly in somebody else's favor that it makes it too much of a risk to go for the counterplay. And like I said, this was not the only instance of this. In the Mexico Online qualifiers, you can see here Teen Gohan that comes out is maxed out in key with 1 skill point when that is not supposed to happen. What is happening here exactly? People are exploiting the items, so the tournament organizers were not even aware of what was going on, so that shows
what?
poor management. It also happened in the UK online qualifiers in the semi-finals. Again, you can see Android 17 comes out with maxed out key when it should only come out with 3 key bars. There has been clear oversights because originally these developers did not plan this game to be played on a tournament circuit, and I don't know what changed in that time. As I said, once again, you can play it competitively if you want, but you need to accept the reality of what this game is, or at the very least,
So people were just using items mid-tournament and like didn't get disqualified for it? What the fuck? How'd they get away with that?
To the players. These players may not have done this on purpose, but the fact of the matter is that you guys did not pick up on this, and these matches have been finalized now. So you've got game-breaking exploits in which Dr. Gero was doing, and then you've got people potentially using items, or even worse, the game was just glitching out and allowing these things to happen. Either way, this is not good. Jun Furutani and the Bandai Namco team that work on Sparking Zero need to seriously look at this. And it has just blown up on Twitter into a much bigger conversation about this game. Now,
as it should, I believe.
Demonizing the players. I don't understand why you would demonize the players.
It's not even the players' fault.
The game. I also don't know why you would demonize the players if the tournament organizers.
I don't understand like the hate. Like I get it. Top tier characters, exploits, glitches, shit like that is very annoying to deal with. But a lot of these people that are complaining about this shit don't even play the game competitively or even attend these types of events. So like, what are they even? Well, I mean, they have the right to complain, but like, first of all, they're not even playing at that level, and second of all, they're getting mad at the people using it and not the developers for allowing this stuff to happen in the first place. If you're playing at a competitive level, and I don't know if there's even a prize pool, but when in a tournament, the first thing you're fighting for is clout, basically. And like, if you're playing competitively, you want to win. So you're going to use whatever they allow you to use to win. And to my knowledge, there's no rules in the game. There's no rules in the tournaments that says you can't use items, you can't use X character, you can't use X tactic. So players are just playing the game at its base and saying, "Fuck it, we're gonna do whatever it takes to win." Like I don't understand why people are getting mad at the players for the developers not doing their fucking jobs. Like I don't know.
Did not have the wherewithal to make sure that the correct checks and balances were made. I also don't understand how you can demonize the players when the developers did not balance this game correctly and intentionally left these things in the game. It is not the players' fault that this happened. It is the developers and the tournament organizers, and they need to take their fingers out of their bums and actually do something. Now we know a patch is on the way, but I would not hold my breath with this patch. And so the dramatic battles are going to continue, and people are going to continue.
What's funny is that they nerfed Yajirobe, but he's still one of the best characters in the game. I literally solo Dash's, like in one of the previous streams, I fucking solo Dash's team with Yajirobe. The weak version of Yajirobe, by the way. I soloed his entire team with one character. I couldn't even, like, when you think about how absurd that is, I can solo an entire team with Yajirobe. Like, my god, dude.
With this game until something is
I don't
done.
believe any character should be that strong.
I'm not holding my breath.
Like, even
This
like
is Bandai Namco
the characters
with
that's supposed to be that strong, like the Fusions or Jiren or UI Goku. I don't think any character should be that strong to where they can just solo an entire team by themselves. But the fact that Yajirobe, I did it to somebody with Yajirobe, like, bro.
talking about. They're probably going to do the most minor, insignificant change, but I'd love to be wrong on that. I really would, because I paid top dollar for this game, and I would appreciate if they fixed it and pushed it in a direction that everybody can appreciate. Now, as I said, personally speaking, I still like the game. I think it's fun in small to medium doses, and there is a fair amount to explore and learn about the battle systems, but it is largely unrefined and it needs work, like most fighting games that have ever existed. Am I personally hopeful for the future of this game? Well, in terms of it becoming a much better game, if you're talking about it becoming a much better fighting game and having more refined mechanics, then my honest answer is no. But in terms
I
of
don't think so.
DLC and artificial updates, sure, I think they will make it better. I think it will be a more full product. I'm just not sure the fighting system is going to improve much until we get a sequel to this game. Much like we saw of the original Budokai Tenkaichi going into Budokai Tenkaichi 2, that was a massive step up. The original Budokai Tenkaichi was not received well. And with DLC and artificial updates, personally speaking, because I'm not really a tournament player, that's okay for me. I play it in small doses. But if you're going to be promoting this game as a tournament game and you're going to have tournament players and they're going to be flying out to compete in your tournaments, there needs to be some serious changes to this game. And you have to pick a direction and you have to follow it. This game does need to become more nuanced. It does need to become more complex. It does need to have actual thoughtful counterplay. This game does have a future. I'm just not entirely sure how bright it is right now. The community is at odds with each other. The developers seem to be at odds with the direction of the game. And it's all around just been a very weird experience. What was supposed to be a grand return of
dude, look at this shit. Hold on. Look at this shit. So the Super Saiyan 3 Goku player used Instant Spark,
be flying
right,
out to compete in your tournament.
Look at this.
There needs to be some serious changes.
So he threw into Instant Spark. Keep this in mind. Then they start fighting.
Thoughtful counterplay. This game does have a future.
Right?
I'm just not entirely sure how bright it is right now. The community.
Look at this. Ultimate.
Is at odds
Look at
with each
this.
other. The developers seem to be
Ultimate. He vanished.
The direction of the game, and it's all around.
And then instantly sparks again when he tried to punish with a homing dash. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro.
Very weird experience. What was supposed to be a grand
oh my god, dude.
It's really turned into this sour experience that not everybody's enjoying. And as I said, the community seems to be at each other's necks. It's going to be interesting to see where things go, but given the fact that the Tekken developers have not been the most responsive when it comes to these things, I would not hold your breath. But I guess we will see. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out the video. Hope to see you all soon. Take care and peace.
Alright, good video from Mike Hollow. Like I said, he does really good commentary videos about fighting games. So, which is why I feel comfortable doing reaction content to it. Because he does bring up a lot of good points. And he's very good when it comes to like putting his thoughts across. So very good video, very good. So this video from the same creator, Mike Hollow, is basically a follow-up talking about the tournament organizers basically DQing the players from the tournament that just happened. So yeah, this is gonna be like basically like part 2 of this whole debacle. Thank you everyone for making it this far into the video. Just gonna take a quick break to do some shoutouts. First, shoutouts to my friends' channels. Please consider checking them out as they provide a variety of content, so at least one of them will have something that you'll enjoy. Second, if you live near the York, PA area, please head down to Ready Up Gaming Lounge. It's a place where gamers from every genre can come together and play in a comfortable and chill environment. They are open from 11 AM to 8 PM every day and hold dedicated events every week. For my channel's interest, they run Fighting Fridays, where for $5.30, you can play a multitude of fighting games with various players. They have big games like Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but they also have niche games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear Strive, Rivals of Ether 2, and more. Finally, shout out to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You guys really make doing content fun and worth pursuing. Alright, back to the video. So, let's take a look.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. And man, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. I really did not expect to be making this video, but here we are because we need to talk about the galaxy brains over at Bandai Namco, and more specifically the people in charge with the Sparking Zero Dramatic Battles World Tour. Now I'm gonna assume that the people running these tournaments are at least at a legal drinking age. I want to assume they're adults, but the more I read into this situation, the more I wonder if these guys have even passed their GCSEs. Let's start at the top with the most relevant information and work our way down, because we really need to go over quite a bit here, because the Sparking Zero community
so from what like I said, from what I understand, the grand finals people from the last tournament got disqualified from tournaments going forward. I don't know what happened after that, so I'm hoping that he has more information on that.
Bollock state right now. So to cut a long story short, if you haven't seen my video from a couple of days ago, please check that out to get the full context. But this happened at the France Dramatic Battle.
Right, we saw this.
Ask some questions. I really like flying up and down as well.
We all laughed, we had discourse about it. Most people blame the tournament organizers. Some people, for whatever reason, blame the players. It was
Stupid.
a whole shit show.
Yeah, I don't know why you would blame the players for that.
But following that debacle, instead of Bandai Namco and the tournament organizers actually refining the rules and taking some ownership for their huge part in this problem, they decided to double down on their tomfoolery and ban both players from the tournament circuit. You heard that correctly, they banned Shiryu and Hiller, so the third place person will now be going to represent France in the finals with UI Goku. Here's the official statement. The tournament organizers have determined that 2 players engaged in actions that violated the code of conduct during the finals for the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the Dramatic Showdown Online Qualifier France. Their actions disrupted the normal operation of the event. The tournament organizers have decided to take the following measures: disqualification of both players, revocation of qualification for the Battle Hour Grand Final. The third place players will be invited to compete in a match under the supervision of administrators off stream. The winner will qualify for the Battle Hour Grand Final. The tournament organizers will continue to strictly address any violations or inappropriate behavior. We ask for the understanding and cooperation of all participants, spectators, and staff. Yeah, fat chance of that happening. Now this is egregious and
I don't understand them disqualifying the players in this instance, because it's not like something like this. How should I word this? It's not like something. I don't want to say the android tactic is not well known throughout the Sparking Zero community, but like, it's like something like this just doesn't happen in competitive games. Like usually when stuff is bannable, it's usually stuff that's like fundamentally broken with the game. The stuff in Sparking Zero, like, I don't know. Like, cause, I don't know. I feel like disqualifying them was going way too far, like way too far. I feel like if they, cause like I don't know. This is such a bad situation, honestly.
Reasons. Firstly, you did not stay at any point that these players couldn't do that. As tournament
Yeah,
organizers,
like yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like they didn't post any rules about what you can and can't do in Sparking Zero, which is why I said earlier, it was like they didn't have any rules for the tournament. They were like, yeah, you were doing a tournament, play the game, win, move on to the finals. And from our perspective, there's no rules to it. You can play whatever character you want, whatever team you want, and just have at it. So it's like,
things that should not be done during a tournament match. It is your responsibility to communicate that to the players. So to start with, you are lousy leaders and you should not be in a position of authority. I'm just being honest with you. Secondly, Shiryu asked you outright, as a tournament organizer and understanding the game you are moderating, you should have expressed if there was anything that shouldn't be done in the match. Now I want to make things really clear before we move on to the next point. You can see here in this post, the stream coordinator said you can play your team according to the rules of the tournament. Enter the lobby and play please. Shiryu says, so I can run. Okay, Hiller says, let's play then. Shiryu says, thanks. And the general administrator says, please join the stream lobby and play now, else we will dismiss this match. Shiryu then says again, can I run all the match though, or will I be DQ'd? He then says, because I win to timer with that. Basically saying he runs away all game and spams until the timer runs out. He then says, can a moderator answer my question please? Can I run and win to timer, yes or no? Sacho responds saying there is nothing about running away from the whole game in the rules. Shiryu says, so it's legit then. You guys were all right about this not being a competitive game. Coming from Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and seeing the level of play there, I was under the impression that that would be mirrored in a follow-up. But as
thanks for the follow on Twitch.
Sparking Zero was severely dumbed down and does not retain a lot of the competitive mechanics in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. So what does that tell you? That a lot of casual players who don't understand tournament rules are not going to go and read the code of conduct and will need you to tell them directly, because this is a new environment to them. Because again, as you all said, this is a game you play.
So what I'm curious about, honestly, because I want to actually see the rules themselves for this tournament, because like I said, it seems like they were just like, they basically let the game dictate the rules of the tournament, like whatever like the lobby settings were. Like I'm pretty sure they use like DP, the DP battle system, so like you couldn't just like use UI Goku and like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on the same team. Like I'm pretty sure they just use DP battles to like run the tournament. So like I don't know. I would have to see the rules of what is and isn't allowed. But the fact that the moderators couldn't actually give this guy a legit question, because he asked multiple times in that chat, is like, my winning tactic is not engaging with the person I'm playing. Like he straight up just says that. My strategy is to not play the game. And he asked multiple times, is this allowed in the game or in the rules? And nobody answered him. Like, what the like, what kind of moderation team literally just goes AFK during a live tournament? Like, and then they have the nerve to ban this guy after the tournament because they could answer a simple ass question? Like, what the like, what is wrong with these people? Like, good lord.
Play on your couch with your friends, not in a setting like the Tekken World Tour. That information needs to be transparent, and it needs to be as transparent as possible, and the tournament organizers are the ones that should be communicating it. Once again, if the rules were even posted up, which I don't believe they were, they should have been communicated, but we will get to that in a little bit. Now the sheer level of
I was like, even the tournaments that I play in, like the tournaments I play for my friends, weekly tournament Blossom Brawl, like if there's a question that needs to be answered about like the game or the rules or stuff like that, if I ask the runners of the tournament, hey, can I use X character, or can I use this tactic or whatever, can I use this rule set in the lobby, like they pretty much answer like within like 1 to like 3 minutes. Like they're pretty much always on it. And so you're telling me that a professional online team, like a professional like team developers can't answer a single fucking question over the span of, like, I would assume multiple minutes of asking is fucking bonkers to me. I don't understand.
Competence here is absolutely astounding to me. You guys want to disqualify the players. I think you guys should be disqualified from officiating the tournament. As
I
a
agree.
person in a
Like, what the
position of
fuck?
authority, it is your job to get the message across.
Exactly.
If there is one, and I know people should read, I get it. But you're live streaming a game that has been purchased more than 3 million times on a platform with millions of others watching, looking for a reason to either A, buy your game, or B, shit on your game, and you just gave them every reason to take copious amounts of dumps on Sparking Zero until the end of time. If it was my game, I'd be more interested in protecting its image. Worst yet, if you've got a patch coming out in December, but some people aren't gonna know that, all they would have seen now is Shiryu and Hiller going up and down and say to themselves, yeah, I'm good. I'm not getting this.
And by the way, I want to say this. The communication from Bandai Namco and all of its games are fucking shit, dude. Like I don't know any I want to say that I don't know anything about Tekken specifically, but I know from the development team of Dragon Ball FighterZ, their communication was dog shit, dude. Like since the very beginning, it wasn't that great, and it only got worse once Bandai took over during season 3 and beyond. Like, it was terrible. Like, we wouldn't know about a patch for Dragon Ball FighterZ until like a month before it came out, and then there would be no post coming up afterwards. No like patch trailer, no nothing. And the patch would just drop on that day, and then it would be like, oh hey, patch is live. That's it. Like, what the and oh my god, dude. And the official Dragon Ball FighterZ games account on Twitter, dude, the last patch that we got for Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? They did the exact same tactic where they announced, oh yeah, we're doing a patch a couple of months ago. And then a couple months later, it was like literally nothing. The patch dropped, and they were like, oh yeah, the patch is live. That's it. And I shit you not, I'm not joking here. Literally a couple weeks later, that same Twitter account started posting clips of patch changes a couple weeks later. Like, y'all could have posted that before the patch came out to hype people up about changes, to get them excited, get them curious about the game. No, but you decided to do the clips after the patch has already came out and after everybody has already absorbed everything in the patch. Like, what? Like, who is running these fucking accounts and tournaments and shit like this? Like, who is behind like PR and shit like that? Like, dude, Bandai is so shit at stuff like this, man.
I don't care what they do, I'm out. Well done, you absolute galaxy brains. But it gets even better. Shiryu provided us with another screenshot which clearly shows that a modification has been made to this post, which reads, engaging in any other behavior deemed by the tournament group to be inappropriate or otherwise tampers with gameplay and operation of tournament events. Now, I don't read French, but I know damn well that's French for you edited your shit to cover your ass. Engaging in any other behavior deemed by the tournament group to be inappropriate or otherwise tampers with gameplay and operation of tournament events. Do you know why this is so funny? No other fighting game would have to even put this out.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the game's developed in a way that allows you to do whatever you want in the match because there are already checks and balances in place. To have to make a ruling like this means that the game is not tournament viable yet. And hey,
the 290 horsepower.
Stupid ass ads.
I can hold my hands up and say you guys got me. I said it was, but having seen this shit, I'm happy to walk back that talking point. In theory, you can play this game in tournament, but you have to do shit like this to make it work. So I would say, is it even worth it? The only other game that I've seen do this and has fighting game events is Smash Brothers. And what's Smash Brothers known as? A party game. And now you're saying, well, we told you, Mike, and fine, you did. But why the hell would they market this game as being a broken, casual, unbalanced, fun mess, and then mere moments later open up a tournament scene for it, and then act surprised when the broken casual mess being played under competitive circumstances would feature matches that make people want to roll over and laugh. Do you see the problem here, Bandai Namco? You haven't picked a lane and now you're in open traffic getting hit by both sides. None of us have any idea what the hell you're doing. So you have a rule here saying engaging in any other behavior deemed by the tournament group to be inappropriate or otherwise tampers with gameplay and operations of tournament events. So it's being referenced again. Then you've got Shion here saying going off this rule as well as additional tournament rules, them cheesing on purpose trying to be funny and make a point falls along those rules. I get the game needs work, but they brought this upon themselves. Cheesing in fighting games is extremely normal. People do it all the time. Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, King of Fighters, Virtua Fighter, hell even Dead or Alive all feature cheesy players, cheesy characters and cheesy playstyles, but it is normal and viable because whilst it might be annoying, it's done and balanced in a way where counterplay is effective. And I know your next argument is going to be, there is counterplay to this, Mike, you guys are just bad. And if that's the case, then why the hell did they get banned? I mean, Hiller actually switched teams and tried to fight back, so at the very least you wouldn't ban Hiller, right? Even if he fumbled the counterplay, there is no logic here. It's all ass backwards and screams incompetency of the highest order.
Yeah, these guys like legit don't know what they're doing.
Game Breaker God under the bus like this, but it has to be stated. Are you also going to ban him because he exploited a bug in the game that allows you to use capsules during a tournament game? Where is the consistency here? Now, personally, I don't think any of them should be banned. I think the tournament organizers should be put on a timeout until they figure out how to do their jobs properly. That's just me personally.
Not a timeout. Like, what the fuck?
Conduct, which you can see here, is a lot more clear, and you know that you're not going to encounter any of this sort of stuff. And if anything did need to be banned, you can bet your bottom dollar that the TOs will enforce it almost immediately. You're allowed to play lame and slow and turtly in Tekken because there is strong and obvious.
Like, I'm genuinely curious on like who the development team for these tournaments are. Like, there's no way that the people that are running these Sparking Zero tournaments are actual like people that has run tournaments before for other games, because there's just no way in a world that a situation like this would even prop up if they actually knew like shit like this was going to happen. Like this has to be like a brand new online tournament team, like from scratch. Like they have to like never have done this job before, because like if there was even like one or two people that ran tournaments from any other game, I should say, I shouldn't say genre, like if they ran tournaments for Street Fighter or Tekken and they were a part of this team, they should have caught this shit immediately. Like there's no justification for any of this happening at all.
Counterplay to it. You're allowed to run away in Street Fighter and just zone because there's effective counterplay to it. If you ban these players because the game was not supposed to be played in this way, then you shouldn't have done a tournament till enough patches came out to address the glaring issues. But tournament aside, if this game is supposed to be played for some dumb fun, then why is this even in the game? Sure, it's dumb, but do you really think this is fun? There ain't shit fun about this. Oh, but they're androids, so they never run out of ki and it's law accurate. Please, just give it a rest of those talking points. First of all, they do lose ki in battle when using different techniques, including movement. And secondly, if law accurate means less fun, then what the hell are we even doing here? There is literally no line of logic whatsoever, and I am dumbfounded that this is even a talking point for people. You retroactively applied rules to the players because the rules you put in place were too vague to pinpoint this particular situation. You did that and then ignored capsule exploiting bugs elsewhere. You cheated these players out of their positions, and you stained the reputation of this game for years to come. My sister could have done a better job at running these tournaments, and all she does is play Stardew Valley. Even people outside of the Arena Fighters community and the FGC are cooking this situation now. And all it's done in everyone's mind is reaffirm what so many said from the get-go, that this game is a joke and shouldn't be taken seriously. And you want to know what the cherry on top of all of this is? Somehow, someway, Bandai Namco has tricked or brainwashed people into thinking this is the player's fault. There isn't any nice way to put this. You have got to be high off your face to think that. The game was designed with this in mind. If the game allows it and then you don't rule it out ahead of time, or I don't know, patch it, then it is entirely your fault. Don't give me a gun.
Like literally we had a patch before this tournament even happened. The patch that nerfed Yajirobe. they went out of their way to nerf Yajirobe, right? But they didn't look at the androids. They didn't look at Dr. Wheelo. They didn't look at fucking Super Vegito with After Image Strike or After Image Strike in general. They didn't take a look at Perception. They didn't take a look at Revenge Counter being fucking dog water in this game. They didn't take a look at homing dashes. They didn't take a look at more accurate DP points for certain characters. They didn't take a look at fucking instant spark moves and adding key sickness. Like, there's so many things they could have taken a look at by the time they did the Yajirobe patch that, like, there's just no way that these guys are actually taking this game seriously. Like it's fucking wild to me. And still, they still haven't done anything DLC wise. We know the Gammas are coming to the game, but the game's been out for like, I think like a month now, and like they still haven't announced anything for DLC. And usually about a month into the game's lifespan, maybe a month and a half, they'll do like a trailer for like a character or something like that. But there's been literally nothing. Like these people, I don't want to say the people that make the game. I think Bandai, who's actually like promoting the game, just doesn't give a fuck about this game. Honestly, they don't give a shit. Like when Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, I'm pretty sure a month after the game came out, we got the trailer for Bardock and Broly, and they came out, I want to say 2 weeks after that. It was like, it wasn't that long before Bardock and Broly came out, right, for Dragon Ball FighterZ. So the fact that we're around that same time and we have no idea what the Gammas look like, we don't even know if Beast Gohan or Orange Piccolo are coming to the game. We don't know if Cell Max, they said Daima characters are coming into the game, so we don't know if Glorio or Vegeta Mini or Mini Shin are coming to the game. Like, we literally have no idea what direction they're going for this game. And the fact that the only direction they're doing any direction that we can see is this tournament scene and is just up in flames is just fucking, it's sad but also hilarious.
And then be surprised when I start firing it. Once again, to reiterate, I like the game, but I'm not blind. I play it, but I am not blind. The game is at odds with itself. Are you a couch game that you mess around with your friends, or are you a tournament fighting game that is going to see competitions for years to come? Which is it? And one last thought before we close this video down. This talk of just making the game some dumb mashy fun needs to stop, in my opinion. This is a fighting game. Fighting games are inherently competitive. It always will go down this way, and it's Dragon Ball. People are going to want to get better, and they're going to want to find interesting and cool ways to overcome opponents. Does that mean tone down the insanity? No. The same way I wouldn't ask for them to tone down the insanity in Marvel vs. Capcom, but what you do need to do is make things make sense. You can have crazy, insane games with insane set plays, mix-ups, rushdowns, or counterplay, or even touch-of-death combos, but it just needs to make sense. You don't have a touch-of-death combo be easily accessible. You make it frame perfect, for example. When someone pulls that shit off, it is exciting to watch, and we will go, oh my god, they actually managed to pull it off. There are checks and balances in place, whilst allowing very creative and over-the-top gameplay. Casual players are going to pick up the game regardless and have a good time of it. They did
True.
Tenkaichi 3, and that game is leaps and bounds more complex than Sparking Zero. But the complexity is where the staying power is. Some of those casuals will stick around. They'll stop just randomly mashing. They'll start to dive into the mechanics and level up. Or they can just stay mashing. Either is fine. They were doing it before. They were doing it on Tekken 3. They were doing it on Ninja Storm. They were doing it on Street Fighter 4. Just because the game has more hardcore mechanics doesn't mean they can't have fun on the game just mashing away. And the fact that developers have tricked people into thinking this way is pretty laughable. But in closing, this is an absolutely shambolic situation. Bandai Namco once again have stuck their foots in their mouths, and these tournament organizers don't know left from right. I'm going to be tuning into the dramatic battle in its final stages to see what happens, but I really wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the last we saw of this dumbness. Anyways guys, let me know what you think of this situation, and I'll catch you all very soon. Take care and peace.
Alright, another good video from Mike Hollow. Very good. So I pretty much agree with everything he said in these two videos. This whole situation is just fucking bonkers to me. Because, once again, this game was never meant to be in a situation like this to begin with. And the fact that, like, they went out of their way to make a tournament circuit. Not just a tournament for, like, the opening of the game. like just something for like something fun to get publicity out. No, this is a whole tournament circuit across the world. Like multiple different regions have tournaments for Sparking Zero. Like they meant to do this, and they didn't balance the game properly to make it fun and interesting to watch and interesting to play. It's fucking bonkers, dude. Yo, what's up, Dash?